What's up, folks? Johnny Lee Reinoso here with Don't Admire, Acquire. Thank you again for stopping by and tuning in. Look, before we get started, if you like this video, do me a favor, hit the like button below, thumbs up. Go ahead and share this. That's right, do me a favor, share this with those in your community, in your sales community, in the business world, those who you believe will definitely benefit from understanding what it means to bring value to the marketplace and how to increase your potential, your earnings by doing so, okay? So do me a favor, hit the like below, go ahead and comment as well. I appreciate all the comments, and share this with others, okay? We're looking to increase our subscription and ultimately bring extreme value to those out there in the marketplace, right? And that's what this is all about. Perfect segue. So I want to talk to you about one thing that's important as we continue to navigate through this challenging times. That's right. If you're listening to this years from now or in the present moment, we are going through what's still considered this pandemic, the COVID-19 challenge, right? Many people are unemployed. Many people have lost their jobs. Many people are still very concerned about their job. Industries continue to be derailed, if you will, in the marketplace just because of how affected they have gotten. But at the end of the day, this video, I really want to speak to those who have a desire to make more. Those of you who want to earn more. Those of you who feel like what you're earning right now isn't in line with what you should be making, right? Because what I want to talk to you a little bit here is about how to increase your value so ultimately you can gain and you can earn the money that you're looking to make, okay? Whether you're employed or self-employed, okay? Whether you're working for the man or, owning your own business. Whether you're a contractor, you're 1099 or W-2'd. Okay, this is for everyone out there. We're all, I included. I own my own business. I own 3 businesses, and I am bringing value to the marketplace. I have to continue to bring value to the marketplace in order for me to gain the return, the earnings that I look to gain. Okay, so we're gonna break it down and really get into what it means to bring value in order to produce and earn what you so desire. I always said this, you cannot out-earn your beliefs. For today's video, I'm gonna share with you this comment right up here, which is important. I want you to write this down, I want you to memorize this, and I want you to live by this. You can never out-earn your value. You can never out-earn your value. In other words, bottled water that I'm drinking here, right? There's a certain value that this bottle of water brings to me, a value that I give this water. When this water is out there in the marketplace and there's an abundance of water at, say, the grocery store, and there's your Poland Springs, your Dasanis, and all of these types of different, quench liquids, if you will, that satisfy my thirst. Specifically, I'm speaking about water here. Okay, one price point versus the other, it's all determined on the value that I give it, the value that I perceive it. For me, if there is quite a bit of water to choose from, I'm gonna look at saying, if I'm gonna buy a bottle of water that's nice and cold, I could pay $1.50, maybe even $2 for it, depending if it's a cool top, an easy squeeze, or whatever the case is, right? So I'm giving it a value. That's what I'm giving it as a consumer. Folks, the same thing happens in the marketplace with who you are as a professional. Let me continue the storyline here. If I am at a certain, let's say, outdoor gathering, a very, big festival or whatnot, right? And it's hot. I live here in South Florida and it's hot outside and I'm getting really thirsty. And I don't have my car right here. It's parked very far away. I'm in the middle of this festival. My family's having a great time and I really need something to drink. And somebody's there with a nice little stand selling water for $4 or $5. Guess what I'm gonna pay for that water right then and there? $4 to $5. Why? Because of supply and demand. You see, but what we don't think about as professionals, whether employees or self-employed, what we don't think about is we like to believe that we are that stand in the middle of this park, that we're that stand in the middle of this world that's unique. Surely we are unique, but that's unique and there are no other options out there. And we just want to gain or earn what we believe we are worth, which is great. You want to have good high standards and beliefs, but then again, it has to be backed with value. It has to be backed with capability. It has to be backed with potential. It cannot just be hyperbole or words that you spit out because you so desire, but yet you don't put in the work behind it to bring that value up. You see, we are not that stand. At the end of the day, we are not that stand there in the middle of this park. We are in this world, this very competitive world with the internet at our disposal. Those of you who are candidates looking for a job out there in the marketplace, the fact that there are hundreds of thousands and millions of people looking for a job. When you're graduating college and you're competing for that job with other students that have just graduated in similar fields, what's separating you? Right? We're going to get into this, but it's all about the mindset and thinking this through to understand so you could truly take away some benefits from this video is to understand that it's all about the value, not only that we perceive for ourselves, that we need to have high standards and great beliefs, but the value has to be backed by experience. Not so much when I'm saying here experience, it's not time or length spent in doing that, but more so the knowledge and the capability of delivering such value, right? So I'm going to break it down. Number one, that's very key. The value you bring to the market will equal your pay. Let me say it again. The value you bring to the market will equal your pay. You see, when you go out and seek a job and you look at all the qualifications and what the job entails, doing this, doing that, responsible for these 4 things, and let's say that job pays you, $50,000 a year, that's what they're paying for that job, for those duties. You see, they're not paying you $50,000. They're paying whoever the person is that they feel is qualified for the duties presented. It's a $50K going rate. Right? We start to think about it a little differently now because even if you have more value, even if you have a tremendous amount of other experiences or you're an expert in other areas, they're not paying for that, right? They're paying for you to do X, Y, and Z role responsibility and they're giving $50K for that. So that's the going price. So you need to understand when you go to the market and the value that you bring, it has to be met with the need that the market is looking for. Or you have to create your need. And that's why a lot of people go into business for themselves. So the value you bring to the market will always equal your pay. Number 2, time, age, experience. This is a huge misnomer. Time, age, and experience does not mean more money. It never means more money. Think about this. You don't get paid more. Your value doesn't get increased just because you have 20 years experience doing the same thing. If you're doing the same thing and you're going through the same motions and you've never challenged yourself to take your life, your business, your expertise to the next level, that additional certification, that additional training, above and beyond what's expected from you if you're working for an organization. If you're not doing these things, all you're doing is exactly what you were asked to do, which is probably, if you're doing it, the value that they're giving you. So if they're paying you $40,000 a year to do X, Y, and Z, and all you're doing is X, Y, and somewhat of maybe as close to what I need to with Z, you're gonna just continue to get your 40 or your 50 or whatever your salary or whatever the going rate is for that role. And then what happens is experience, yes, age and years that go by, you're right, you will start making a little bit more money. That's because our beautiful country has instilled this idea that a 3% raise or a 3.3 compound percent raise every year is acceptable and should be given to your employers who are still with you, your employees who are still with you. I agree, we should definitely, keep up with the, inflation and the demand and all that, no worries. But is that what you're really looking to get, is a 3.3% increase? Seriously? If you're watching this video, that's not who you are. So I'm hopeful you're starting to think a little bit about what I just mentioned here. Number 1, the value you bring to the market will always equal your pay. Oh, but I want to make more money. Okay, what have you done to improve your value? Number 2, time, age, and experience does not equal more pay. It does not. Your 3.3% increase year over year doesn't necessarily mean hooray. You're just getting by, hopefully. Now, what areas do you need to focus on? What could you do in order to help you continue to increase your value? Now, this is questions and a mindset that I want you to think about so you could get towards increasing your value in the marketplace so you can start gaining more pay, right? So bring your skills. When you go to market, you need to think about bringing your skills and your value when you're looking to gain a certain dollar amount or charge a certain amount. Bring your skills and your value to the market. Don't bring your need. You know, I love it when I interview people. Let me tell you a short story here. I had an interview just before COVID happened, and I sat down with an individual with a fair amount of experience. And they claimed to have experience working with this organization, and they had some proof, and obviously, you know, their social footprint, their social media footprint on LinkedIn showed that they were there as well. All of these great things. But the person stayed in this role, was in the same role for over 6 years. There was never a change, and in this role, there are a lot of areas of improvement that one could invest in or do in order to improve their value. So when I sat with this person, their answer to me when it came down to how much am I willing to pay or how much are we offering for that role, and I shared it with them, they immediately came back and said, but I have 6 years experience. And they wanted literally what would be considered around 20% more than what they were making before. And my answer to them was very simple. Look, for this role, this is what I'm looking to pay. If you have a tremendous amount of value that you want to bring to the table and you want to increase it, then we could look at other opportunities that you can do with this role. So you could take on this role and maybe a few other areas, a little bit of marketing, a little bit of human resources. But at the end of the day, what that person wanted to, no, I only want to do this, but I want to get paid 20% more. And when I asked why, because I have a child going to college soon. I need to support my family. Look, I'm all for it, folks. I'm a family man, 3 kids, beautiful wife. I get it. But what does your need have anything to do with your value? Let's say it again. What does your need have anything to do with your value to the marketplace? So when you go to market, right, when we get into this blue area here, as I'm talking about, when you go to market, your mindset, your thinking needs to be, when I'm looking for this job, when I'm trying to sell this, right, I'm a salesperson. I need to sell this. I need to sell this. I need to sell it so I hit quota. I need to sell it so I make this bonus. I need to sell it so I don't lose my job. Your need has nothing to do with the value in the marketplace. When you go to market, you need to go to market with value, with gratitude. You need to go to market with your skills and ability. Okay, so follow me here. That person's need, albeit I'm sensitive to it and I'm empathetic to it and I feel for the person and I want them to be extremely successful and happy and provide for their family. At the end of the day, the value that this person is willing to give me based on what she or he is willing to do for this role does not equate to the need that she or he has. So you have to be careful. Go to market with your value and skills, not your need. Number 2, work just as hard, if not harder, on yourself. Let me back up. Work just as hard on your job. Work just as hard. Work very hard on what you need to accomplish at work, but just as hard on yourself, so you could continue to improve your value. Folks, here's what I'm talking about. If you're doing, say, if you're in operations, if you're in sales, and if you're in supply chain, if you're in other areas, computer science, whatever area you're in, whatever your profession currently is, okay, you want to work hard on what you're doing because you want to be in control over your life at that moment. You don't want somebody to come tell you you're fired because you didn't do a good job. So you want to be in control over your destiny as well. Stuff could always happen, but you really want to be in control. So you always want to deliver above expectation. That's what I say, and we'll get into that point number 3, and I'll tell you what that means. Well, you want to deliver always above expectation. You want to execute to plan and then some. So your superiors, your bosses, your colleagues, your friends, your employers, everybody around you can see that you're a go-getter. But with that same mentality, you have to go home and invest in yourself. Weekends and nights, what could you do to improve? What could you do to acquire? Right? Don't admire, acquire. What could you do to acquire the necessary skills that you need to further improve your value, which then will become very evident to your employer or to your customers? Because as you continue to improve your business, whether you're working for a person or on your own, the market will begin to see and realize it. right? As you become a subject matter expert. So you need to make sure, just as hard as you work for your job, for your career, you need to work even harder on yourself. Working hard will make you a great living. Working hard on yourself will end up making you a fortune. I'm living proof of this. Work on yourself. And point number 3, strive to be better at everything you do. Like I said, I was gonna get to this point. Strive to be better at everything that you do. So like I said before, in your job, you wanna be better at what you do. You wanna be better at executing on those responsibilities, on what's expected of you. You wanna be a better parent. Every day, strive to be better, a better husband, a better wife, a better parent, a better employer, a better friend, a better son, a better human. Strive to do that, because here's the crazy thing. We have this, what I would say, this muscle inside of us. It's almost like a muscle that continues to judge and allow us to feel satisfied and content based on everything that we do. In other words, if I go to the gym and I want to do weights and I want to do cardio, but I barely lift and I barely end up doing cardio and I leave there, I'm already leaving in a sluggish failure mindset kind of way. A way that I went to go do something, but I didn't accomplish it. And because now that I chose to leave and I'm in the car and I'm driving away, I'm giving myself an understanding that it's okay to not hit the goals or to not achieve what I wanted to achieve. So you got to be careful when you do those things, because if you don't strive to always be better, oh, but that's really hard to live like that. No. Strive to do better every day, because how you do anything is how you do everything. Let me say it again. How you do anything is how you do everything. And trust me, it might not be, with a few circumstances. Well, I might have, for lack of better words, I gave it 50% effort here, but I really killed it here. Yes, you are gonna have those one-off situations. But for the most part, if you're a quitter, you're gonna quit most of the time. If you don't give too much attention or too much effort to the activities around you, you're not gonna give too much effort. That's why they say a C student is normally a C student, a B student is normally a B student, an F student is normally an F student. It follows you. It allows you to build that muscle that doesn't help you achieve what it is you're trying to achieve. So keep remembering this. How you do anything is how you do everything. Folks, it's absolutely critical that you understand this. Now I want to hop, a little long video today, but that's okay. Now I want to hop into 8. Oh, I didn't put it up there. 8 areas to improve your value. 8 areas that you can focus on that'll help you improve your value in your life, okay? So we talk about improving your value in the marketplace. Here are 8 areas that you could focus on, which is pretty awesome, and it's easy. I'm gonna break it down very simple. Number 1, you wanna be an expert in your space. You wanna do your best to be an expert in the space that you're in. So you want to understand and master all the skills or the areas and what's important for you in order for you to continue to bring value to the market, to your employer, which ultimately is the marketplace. If you own your own business and you're a photographer and you want to increase your pricing, you got to increase your knowledge, how to take better photos, how to do better videography, how to do better editing. And you want to bring that knowledge to the marketplace, marketing that intelligence and that capability, increasing your price. That's how it works, right? So you want to be an expert in your field, an expert, and you want to focus on that. You want to be committed to that. Number 2, you want to be a producer. And I don't just mean in sales. I'm talking about even if you're in operations, if you work in all the different kinds of areas, you want to be a producer in your activity. There's something I used to live by called A, B, and C. An A player truly delivers and produces more than they consume. A B player produces what they consume and maybe a little more. A C player consumes more than they produce. You want to always strive to be a producer. So you're always providing and giving more value to the marketplace. You want to provide and give more to your job, to your role and responsibility. How can I help you? You're producing solutions and you're bringing value to people. So you want to think about that. Expert in 1, 2, you want to be a producer. 3, you have to be an innovator. You have to be an innovator in order to continue to bring more value. Isn't that so true in today's world when we're dealing with this pandemic and so many people had to pivot and switch and change and figure out ways of staying in business? Some did, some didn't. Some froze, some fought, some froze, right? But you want to be an innovator. You want to constantly think about your business or your role and think about how can you improve? What could you do? What resources could you help allocate? What intelligence, what process, what improvements, what initiatives could you learn that'll help you be better and increase your value? You have to constantly think about improvement, a continuous improvement mindset, which I talked about on another video. But again, you want to be an innovator. Number 4, you have to learn the art of closing a deal, the art of selling. You have to learn sales. Speak authoritatively, listen empathetically. When you master that, which there's a video and there'll be a link below to this video, but if you master that, then you'll know how to persuade people. Remember, a sale is not necessarily transacting goods for monies. A sale is the ability to get another human being to move in the direction that you want that person to move to. So a sale is getting another person to take action towards what you want. And you have to learn how to master that. If you run operations, or if you're a manager at a retail store, if you're a manager at any kind of, if you lead people, you have to learn how to speak to them in an authoritative fashion while still listening empathetically. You have to learn how to come across genuine, professional, cordial, but yet very much assertive and direct. It's important that you master the art of sale, S-A-L-E. Number 5, you have to be popular in your space. Who wants to do business with somebody they don't know or somebody they feel is not a force to be reckoned with in that area? Look, if you're a plumber, if you're a service provider, if you're a plumber, if you own your own AC company and I don't know you, how are ways to be popular? One, social media, right? You could have a great social media presence, a fair amount of followers, and continue to invest in marketing. Number 2, Yelp, right? That's a great way to be popular. You want to have some great reviews. Now, you have to have great service and you have to be able to provide a great value in order to have great reviews, but being popular means to have great reviews. Leads me to my next point. You need to have great reputation. It's impossible for you to continue to increase your value and have a negative and a poor reputation, right? If I want to hire somebody or a company and I look for letters of recommendation, or I want to be able to speak to some of their former clients, their reputation has to perceive the price. The price and all of that has to be followed by what? The value and what they could actually bring to the table. So it's important that you have a great reputation. And in this digital world, we got to be careful, right? Because everything we put out there in the world, it's going to be viewed, it's going to be interpreted. So you have to know how to manage your reputation successfully so that you ultimately attract your customer. And number 7, character. Character. Oh, but I'm an introvert, Johnny. I'm just that kind of person. I'm quiet. I like to read. I like to hide. I'm a loner. Listen, I don't care if you're a loner. I don't care if you're whatever you think you are. That's you creating a limited belief in your mind, that's you labeling yourself. But then when I ask you more and more and more about your goals and desires, there's all of these things you want to accomplish, but you can never get to those areas, or you can never reach that level of success, unfortunately, if you continue to believe that you're this kind of person that just likes to be quiet and sit in the corner and I don't like to talk to people. How could you ever increase your value in this world if you don't associate with other human beings? I mean, come on for a second. Think about that. How could you ever increase your value in this world if you don't associate with others in the market? It's impossible. You have to associate with the professionals and the experts so you can learn from them. Then you have to associate with your colleagues or your clients so they can understand what kind of intelligence, expertise, and skill sets you have. And then you have to associate with those who seek it so that you can deliver it and bring that value to them. So having a character that is outgoing can be learned. You see, if you think you're not that person, go out and seek the skills and the way you need to behave in certain areas so that you can get that. It's important. It's critical for your success. Don't limit yourself because you don't have that character. BS. Go out and acquire the character so that you can be that person. And lastly, your network. I mean, It sounds dumb, everybody heard it, but I'll say it again because it's critical and it works and it's important and it's so real in my life. That's why I'm constantly sharing it with others. Your network is your net worth. If you do not associate yourself with the subject matter experts, with the right people, if you don't have the right circle around you that can influence you and elevate you, then it could only do the reverse, decrease you. Okay? Misery loves company. I always love when I talk to people and they have a ton of friends. I have so many friends. Misery loves company. When I start looking at all of these friends, it's very, very, very telling why they all are friends. Successful people have many friends, but not a tremendous amount of friends like I've seen others have. And here's why. One, there's no time. I talked about time, but there's no time to have so many friends because you're focused on your goals, you're focused on your skills, you're focused on improving yourself, you're focused on your loved ones and your family, that there's no time to really continue to build this social gathering. Number two, how many people are truly successful? Name them. In your space. Tremendous amount? Exactly. So focus on increasing and elevating your circle, because I'm telling you now, who you associate with will help you tremendously. Why? Because success leaves clues. Let me say it again. Success leaves clues. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to go out and accomplish all on your own. There's no need to do that. Associate yourself with those. Get the right mentors. Work with those and get close to those folks who have accomplished that level of success and make them part of your network. I'm going to recap it and close it up here. Expert. Be an expert. 2, be a producer. Learn how to focus on improving yourself to be a producer. Again, these are all areas that will help you elevate yourself and improve your value in the marketplace so ultimately you could improve your earnings. Okay? Number 3, you need to be an innovator, constantly looking at how you're going to pivot and innovate your business or your current job, even if you're working for the man, your current job, so it could help you. Number 4, you need to learn how to sell. You need to learn how to talk to people, speak authoritatively. You need to learn how to listen empathetically to persuade those or to persuade your employers or to persuade your team that you're managing. Number 5, you need to make sure that you have the desire and the ability to become popular. Popular so that you could overcome obscurity and people in the space that you're servicing knows who you are. Number 6, reputation is key. If I'm looking for X, my reputation has to support the X that I'm looking for. If I'm looking for an amount, I have to have the reputation behind it. Okay? Number 7, character. Don't tell me you're this kind of person so you can't be that kind of successful person. Impossible. Learn what you need to learn to have that personality, that character, that ability so you can be that person. And lastly, improve your network, improve your net worth. Just drop the mic. Cheers and thank you for tuning in.